phase. In the initiation phase of this module, we will explain what a student transfer is, define its purpose, identify the 4 phases of the student transfer process, and describe the steps in the route of a student transfer from beginning to end. The student transfer process is an interesting journey broken up into 4 phases. Those phases consist of initiation, interim processing, the verdict, and possibly an appeal, which is also accompanied by a final decision. When families come in who are generally unfamiliar with the process, the first thing we offer them is the opportunity to review the copy of the Prince William County Schools Regulation 722-2. It deals specifically with the transfer process from a high school perspective. There are a lot of misconceptions about what a student transfer is, its purpose, and what options it offers. And most importantly, what reasons are deemed valid for pursuit towards a student transfer. The bottom line is all reasons have to align with the Prince William County Schools guidelines. Once this is explained to the family, we begin the process. There is a student transfer request form that is completed. The form is broken down into several small sections, which we will elaborate on in the latter portion of this learning module. When this part of the process is completed, that form is now ready to be forwarded to the next party, and this can vary depending on who receives the transfer form first. In this case scenario, we will assume that the base school will be the initiator of this process. With that said, the form is reviewed and checked to make sure all information has been filled out properly. It is noted and tracked by the person that receives the form in the school office. This action can be carried out by various forms of classified personnel. It can be an admin or executive secretary, or an office assistant, and in some cases, a specialty program coordinator. The form is then forwarded to the base school principal and for an initial review, and in some cases, an in-depth investigation, depending on the reasons given for the pursuit of the transfer. Once the base school principal has come to an approved decision, the transfer is now forwarded to the requested school principal for his or her review and final verdict of acceptance or denial. At this point of the journey, depending upon the verdict, if the transfer has been approved by the requested school, the student can then prepare to make his or her transportation arrangements and be ready to attend the requested school. However, if the decision has been denied, the family has the option to appeal the decision. This process is no longer handled specifically by the base nor the requested school, but it is now in the hands of the Prince William County Schools Student Services. The Director of Student Services, along with other constituents, will review the transfer, the specified reasons, and the reason for the appeal from this point. A final decision will be made and all parties will be notified. However, in this case, there will not be any available recourse. After this final decision has been made, the student will only have one option based upon the acceptance or denial by Student Services. The bottom line will be the student will either be allowed to attend his or her requested school due to an overturned decision, or they will be expected to attend their assigned designated base school. Here is a list of steps involved in obtaining a student transfer. Please remember the result of these procedures are based solely on a decision-making process and ultimately an agreement between 2 school administrators, and there isn't any guarantee for an automatic approval. Depending upon the reason, some decisions are determined on a case-by-case basis. These steps have already been covered in our journey through the transfer process. However, I've included an electronic copy and a direct link of this information for your review on the Forms tab of this module. Please feel free to download a copy for your records. Now that